this isn't taught in schools. It's not very few people teach this. It's a financial burden, but that weighs on your soul and that weighs on how you carry yourself. And when you can take control and eliminate that stuff, yeah, I mean, it absolutely physically affects how you carry yourself. I was shooting for 10 people. If I could help 10 people, I feel like it's at least worth my time. I don't know about your time.
Yeah.
If you are a business leader or a business owner that is interested in doing Earners Academy, I would highly recommend it because I was going into it very skeptical. Number one, about the cost. Number two, about the buy-in. And I work with the most everyday people in the world, just like we all do. And finances were always a lockdown topic. What I would encourage you to do is turn over that stone, because you never know until you ask the question. Number one, the cost. Number two, the buy-in. And if my 36 people that work on cars can knock off $60,000 worth of debt in 60 days, yeah, I'm doing it again, you know? And if you've got a larger business or a smaller business, then that number is just gonna be either comparable or larger, and you're getting that off of your people. And number one, it could show them like, hey, I am making good money, you know, and I am making above or at the median or, you know, well above, whatever the case may be. I am doing that. I just suck with money, you know. I should probably misdirect. Like, if you want to get into it very selfishly, then that's also a pro, you know, as a business leader. But if you're going into it like very personally because you care about all your people, you're knocking that weight off them.
Right.
That financial freedom, you can't put a price on. And if you are in the financial position that you could set this up, set it up, because then you're knocking that weight off your people. And if you want to improve culture, there it is.
Welcome. I'm Cameron Rice, CEO of the Earners Academy, and I'm here with Braden Walker, CEO of Rods Collision Co. So tell the people who you are, what do you do, how long have you been here?
Yeah.
What do you guys do at Rods?
So Rods is a collision repair facility. So it's any accident, you know, hit and runs, collisions on the interstate, freeway, in your driveway. We've had people, you know, back into stuff in their own driveway. In any sort of collision, we can repair. So I grew up here. It's a family-owned business. This is our 50th year in business, so it's a big thing for us. My grandfather started this. My father, you know, brought us into the modern day, and now it's kind of my turn. But yeah, so obviously a lot goes into collision repair. We've got 36 employees right now. And yeah.
So tell me, in your time leading, what's the craziest thing you've heard? Or let's say client per se, because it's emergencies and accidents.
Yeah. These are like craziest circumstances for collision repair. So obviously we get, you know, everyday accidents, vehicle thefts, we fix and repair as well. Probably the craziest is had a tow in come in, which is, you know, comes in on the back of a tow truck.
Yeah.
And we had somebody come in and facts of loss from the insurance company, which is like the facts of what happened, what they told insurance, said that they were parked at a nightclub and got vandalized. I don't know if this is what you're looking for, but this is the craziest thing. A guy got caught cheating in his car, so his girlfriend was in the nightclub, and she jumped on his car and started beating his car up. Busted windshield, hood, roof. Collision repair might pay, but that doesn't.
Ooh.
You know, he paid for that.
I
don't know if that's the story you wanted, but
that's crazy.
Crazy. I could tell a tamer one if needed.
Yeah. We'll take
that's the one that popped in my head for sure.
No, that was not what I was expecting, but I will take that. So how long have you been leading the business, running things?
So I took over about a year and a half ago.
Okay. Congrats on that.
Thank you. September will be 2 years.
Okay.
So I've been in this seat for roughly about a year and a half, give or take, and really want to continue pushing into what I want Rods to be, what it's meant to me, because I grew up here.
Yeah.
You know, technically I've been a full-time employee for about 11 years, about 10 years. I'm going on 11. but to me, it meant something
Yeah.
different. My grandfather started it. I grew up, and my dad was running around like crazy trying to drag it in out of just a small family-owned garage into a present-day business, and he absolutely succeeded. When I took over, I wanted to make it mean something to, number one, the people that work here,
Yeah.
and all of our employees, and number two, the city of Huntsville that's rapidly growing and expanding. For 49 years, we were Rod's Custom Body Shop, and we only did custom work for about 25 years. We were really great at it, but the market for custom work severely decreased. And then we only did custom upholstery work, like building out special speaker boxes and redoing full interior stuff like that. And I shut that down about 3 years ago. And now we're the only certified Tesla collision center in a 90-mile radius. So the nearest certified Tesla collision center is Chattanooga.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it's like a badge of honor, and we're just a small family-owned business with 2 locations. So that's something we wanted to hang our hat on. So I rebranded from Rod's Custom to Rod's Collision. Like as soon as I took over day to day,
Yeah.
and other things, I immediately changed it and rebranded to what you see today.
Yeah. I love the aesthetic. Love the
thank
lobby. The first time I know I walked in here, I was like, this is the nicest collision shop.
Right. Yeah.
Because when I came in, I'm thinking like, cigarette smoke.
Yeah. Greasy
carpet.
pins.
Yeah. And I'm like, wait, I could actually just hang out here and work here if this was looked like a coffee shop, basically.
Yeah, that was the goal. So we've been in this location. This used to be a drive-in movie theater.
Oh, wow.
So it's like it's got roots in Huntsville. Like we're sitting in the box office right now, and
I never knew that.
Yeah, so we're sitting in what used to be the box office right now, and I think we've just got deep roots to Huntsville. And initially, when Huntsville started growing and expanding, it was super exciting because it's my home turf. And then it became very corporate very quickly. And now everything coming in is pretty much all corporate. And so I thought it was very important. Like, number one, I have no interest in selling out to corporate. But number two, if we are truly in the minority and special, I want to extend that, and I want to give different experiences to the public and to employees.
No, that's good. I was gonna say you said something interesting, so I kind of want to ask this. What was the transition of obviously working here, being a full-time employee, to now running this show?
Right. Yeah. That transition's still ongoing. It's tough because growing up here, I knew this is what I wanted to do from a super early age. But growing up, when I was growing up and when I first started full time, I just wanted to be useful, and I just wanted to do the job correctly. I'm the owner's son, so there's a stigma attached to that, and it can get sloppy super quick.
Yeah.
So I wanted to outwork everybody in the room to success, and everything is a learning experience. And I hung on a lot of people that invested in me, and not my dad. I didn't start learning from ownership, my dad, until like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Everything else was just people that believed in me, that wanted to invest in me. So I'm kind of morphed by the passion of a family business and wanting to grow it, along with like the bloodline and the people that worked here and like care about this business that invested in me.
Yeah.
So now I'm in this weird spot that I'm still working through to invest into others, everything I've been taught, so that I can take it to where I want it to be and do what I want to do. But also I still have, I'm still in the trenches.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Still have to absolutely do things and coach and teach and on everyday claims and everyday problems, and can absolutely be super frustrating, but it all comes down to what do I want here, and how do I want people to treat people, coworkers, public, get into a car accident. hopefully, fingers crossed, is the worst day of your year.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully that's the worst thing, because
Yeah.
you got to deal with the people that hit you or that you hit, insurance companies, other insurance companies, and then you got to deal with me and this whole industry. Anybody that works on cars just has a stigma.
Yeah.
You know, like gonna cheat you, gonna override, gonna upcharge. It's not here. It's an honest thing, and I want you to feel comfortable, which is the whole vibe of it
Yeah.
now. I want you to feel comfortable because we're gonna do the right thing and fix it right. But that also goes, that's forward facing and inward facing.
Yeah.
Here, like I'm gonna treat people right. I'm gonna, work where I've seen flaws working up through this system.
Mhm.
Obviously, I always had one destination because I'm the owner's son.
Yeah.
But I do feel like it's halfway earned because I just care.
Yeah.
And I want to improve every aspect of it.
Absolutely.
So
Well, I'll say, I mean, you're doing a great job. I know it. I think about how the day that we knew each other from church, we went through Bible study, and I think that was cool. But you've really also kind of pioneered something for us that we didn't really know was an option. I mean, it wasn't when we started the business, this wasn't even something we were thinking about. We're like, hey, we're going to work with everyday people, churches, and call it a day. And so I think when I remember it like she's like, hey, let's go to lunch. And to be honest with you, I don't think I've even shared this with you. I know we had conversations about other things. So I thought we were like following up on that. And I was like,
yeah.
oh yeah, let's talk about the things we talked about in the last conversation.
Right.
And then you were like, hey man, I really want to invest in my people. I see what you're doing. I know I had worked with maybe a couple of your employees prior, just like on them personally. And you were like, no, I want to make this investment to our whole team because I want to make sure that what we're making sure that they have, they're stewarding and taking care of. And so
Right.
I guess I want to ask, with that being said, one, we're thankful for you and giving us the opportunity. And what would you say kind of was the first thing that got you thinking about financial coaching or consulting or hiring, let's say, a consulting firm to help your employees as a benefit?
Yeah. So what really got me started thinking of it is, like, I've been here a long time, 10 years full time, but from there, it's been, a range of different roles and aspects, but I've always been talking to my guys and like my people here. And there's just been this like dialogue where they're living paycheck to paycheck, or they make some sort of joke or something like that, where it's like, well, I don't have any money and all this stuff. And then I eventually like inherited more responsibilities and started getting an idea of what these guys make. And then about a year and a half ago when I took over, then I know what they make, and I know that they make good money. And in my head, I'm like, there shouldn't be any reason, because a lot of these guys, they bought houses before it was hard to get houses and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that they purposefully were ignorant, but growing up, my parents didn't have a lot. Obviously, we worked here for a long, long time, but it was absolutely a grind. This wasn't the business it was until fairly recently.
Yeah.
And I've seen him, he was a real Ramsey guy.
Yeah.
So I saw him budget. So I knew, and he helped me with like my budget when I first got my first apartment, when I first got married. But from then it was, just on me.
Yeah.
But I had a decent foundation. And I learned through trial and error myself.
As we all do.
Right, yeah. But then whenever I had responsibility over these people, there's only so much a business owner or a manager can do for pay, especially when you think it's pretty fair for the market, and others are more than fair and others are above average. It's like analyzing it case by case, but I looked at all of them and I was just thinking, like, why can't everybody see what I see? And then that's whenever we met.
Yeah.
Like fairly, whenever I was trying to figure something out, we met. And then you launched your class with the church. And then I was like, man, I really wish that I can get all my guys to go do this class. But that's a very hard sell. Like number one, you're talking about finances, and then number two, you're talking about church, and those are like two like ultra sensitive topics. And I'm always up for it, but I whenever we kind of like formed a friendship, I was like, I bet he would be open to something like this. And I figured
You were
that,
correct.
right, yeah, yeah. So whenever we first initially talked about it, is really like I saw what the church offered and what it did, but that's the church, and that is like goal number one and priority number one is it's always for the people, it's always for the congregation and for the kingdom. Um, and of course, I always want to steer our business for the congregation that of our employees and for the people and for the kingdom, but it is a business, it is set up differently. So yeah, that's when I just wanted what you were doing for our congregation and our mutual interests and passions. I wanted it for my people that I care about, that I want to succeed. And yeah, and here we sit.
Here we sit. You say that I was thinking about what you said. Like, I feel like finance and church, but also finances alone. It's such outside of somebody's social security number, like that's probably the next thing that they're holding dear. And so obviously me coming in and having buy-in from you is very helpful, because it's like, hey, we trust obviously our boss, our leader. And so, well, wait, who's this guy coming in? So we kind of, in that sense, I definitely needed you, because even though I just walked in here and was like, hey, I just still need a little vouching to get in, because and the guys were attentive. I think it's been great. Obviously, we've seen good results. So I would say this, I guess a question I really want to ask is, before we partnered, was there anything that you were noticing about maybe financial stress in the workplace? I know you had mentioned earlier there was like these comments in between, and not like probably purposeful, but just like,
yeah. I mean, it's always difficult to tell when somebody's like joking or somebody is making conversation or simply being petty. Because I've seen it all and I've heard it all. But that would be the biggest thing, is like just offhanded comments, or when somebody genuinely comes to me about like, hey, I'm struggling, or hey, I have a busted pipe at my house, and I don't have the $2,000 it's going to take, or I mean that's pretty conservative. It's really like $6,000, like they don't have an emergency fund, and I'm like, I know what you make, and that blows my mind. That you don't have enough to cover like a plumbing issue or an emergency or something like that, and it sat heavy on me. I can't manage my people's finances. Number one, I don't have enough time in the day. But then number two, like they are a bunch of grown adults. And they need to, but I don't want to just like sit back and judge them and think like, I can't believe you don't have this. If you truly care about them, how can you foreseeably set them up for success? What's some practical tools you can give them? And then we met.
And hey, and like
practical tool is camp.
I'll take that. I think that's also, one of the things is they're still like, hey, I can lead you all the way here, but then still I'm going to offer it to you as a benefit, but you still have to do the work, right? You have to, we can put you in front of the right people, the right tools. I say this in class, like I can give you everything that you need, but you still have to do it.
Which I think that's important too. And I think like at the end of the day, I'm not looking for a bunch of high fives and handshakes. I want them to feel proud of themselves. That's important to me too. If I can give them a tool that helps them, that's great. But I'm not looking for like a hug. But that's the cool part about it, is if you can give them back some sort of semblance of control and like a game plan, and this is how you get back in control.
It's been fun. It really is. That first, trying to figure things out, making sure that things are, it's new for them, because it's like, wait, I got to share my deepest, darkest, what I really owe. And, I don't really, and that first month is always cool, because it's like, well, hey, like actually, I always say this, most of the time, out of all the clients we've dealt with, probably 90, let's say 97% of them, the money's always there to be able to live
Right.
comfortably, or what they now it may be going everywhere, but it's not
Right.
really systemized. It's not going to the right place. So I'm glad. One, I wish I had a boss that would have invested in me. I had a great one, but this was not an opportunity for me to be able to do
Right.
that at an early
Yeah.
age or be able to do it.
Yeah.
So let me ask this: how did you think about, like, what were your thoughts about the investment? What were you hoping would happen when we first kind of had the conversation? You know, the elephant in the room is, well, how much does it cost? And
Sure.
you
Yeah.
know, what was your thoughts and what were you expecting even when you made the
Yeah.
investment?
Honestly, I didn't know. I didn't know if you were just way outside of, what I wanted to do, because we've got good benefits.
Yeah.
It's still insurance and matching 401ks and everything like that. Like for our market, we're like right on pace. We have great benefits, but I didn't know how much this was going to be.
Yeah.
And number two, like I didn't know how much of a like impact it would have on. I didn't know if I was just throwing seeds out to
Yeah.
deaf ears, and nobody wants to do this because nobody wants to talk about money to a stranger,
Yeah.
and that's what you are to them. And it takes a lot to tell you how much you owe a tool truck.
Yeah.
Like it takes a lot from them. So I didn't know how much it was going to be when I talked to you, because I don't have a very large operation. I've got 2 locations, one on University Drive and one down South Parkway. Like I said, like 36 employees at the moment. And I didn't know, number one, how much it was going to cost. And number two, what the buy-in from my staff would look like. And that was both of those things were very big factors for me. So whenever I don't even think we came to necessarily an agreement until we had everybody gathered up and
Yeah.
we saw the buy-in. I was shooting for 10 people. If I could help 10 people,
Yeah.
I feel like it's at least worth my time. I don't know about your time,
Yeah.
which I figured it would be.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the amount of response that we did have, it was incredibly encouraging. And then it's worth every penny.
Yeah.
After I started getting results back, and I was never worried about it because it was absolutely doable and absolutely worth it. And then when I got results back, great.
Like, okay, glad we made
We'll make this an annual thing.
Yeah, let's do it. So in your first 60 days, your team, your employees eliminated over $60,000 in debt. Tell me what that felt like when you first saw it. When you first found out that report, was it, hey, this is way more than what I thought, this is less? Actually, I didn't have an expectation. What was your first reaction?
So I didn't really, because again, like where I come from, and not even where I come from, but this industry and the people that tend to work in it, they keep it under lock and key. Like they'll complain about it for sure. They'll complain that they don't have any money, but you never know the actual impact.
Yeah.
Especially as like a manager or a president or anything like that, you never really want to ask those questions because that's very personal. If you have a very personal relationship with them, they might open up and you can give them advice. But especially when you're talking about company wide, it's not necessarily your burden to carry. Not that you shouldn't care, but it's a very awkward topic to bring up, because that doesn't affect how I compensate you for your work, because you made those choices. And that sounds like very callous and everything like that. But if you get down to the black and white of it, that's not a conversation you typically have.
Right.
And that's why I wanted you to come in and have
Yeah.
those conversations. Like, you don't have to tell me nothing, but if I can make an impact, then I want to make an impact.
Right.
Or at least set you up so you can take control individually. And when I saw the numbers, I didn't have an expectation, but whatever the non-expectation I had, it was above it.
Yeah.
Like, in 2 months, $60,000 off of my people it's an insane figure. Like, in 2 months, my people that I genuinely personally care about, and I can't personally ask them their debt and their financial situation. I want to know, but I shouldn't know. And that's a personal thing, like I want to help everywhere I can. And then in 2 months, $60,000 gone, no, I think it makes me feel good. It makes me feel not even like pride as an owner or as a like manager of these people. It's just cool when you care about somebody personally, and people, bosses, managers can say
Yeah.
that all the time and then not mean it. But when it's true and only you know it's true, that you genuinely care, and then
Yeah.
you see something like that that's fallen off of the people that you care about, like, yeah, it chokes you up a little bit.
Yeah, it'll.
You know,
Yeah.
edit this part out, but it kind of brought
When
a
we
tear to my eye.
calculated, because you're kind of like in the, even for us, we were kind of tracking it, but then when we really started to compile the numbers, I looked at the number and I was like, oh, this, and I don't know if we had an expectation. We knew we were going to help,
Right.
but we didn't know how much, because you
Right.
just never know. Like you said, you don't know.
It all depends on buy-in and individual buy-in.
How many people are going to show up? How many people are going to actually buy into the and we like to say our system is a little, I guess, not difficult, but it does require a lot of steps, like as far as how you set up your bank accounts, how you set up making sure that things are put in the right place. And it does take effort.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
when the effort is put in, results happen, things happen. And so, I was happy that was, your reaction when you're like, man, I actually can't believe this. But then also I was like, hey, well, I love to keep doing it. We still got a long road to go, but I still want to, when we were kind of looking at the chart of like, okay, we really need to eliminate the rest of this.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if we can go get the rest of this done. So we're really excited about it, man. So I want to say thanks so much again for trusting us. Really beyond the numbers, I think the numbers are great and they're awesome. But as far as telling the story, what have you seen as a change in any of your people, employees? Are they walking a little, confident now?
Sure, yeah. Well, I mean, a couple. And the people that I knew were in tough spots, they're always going to be pretty shut down, even victory or defeat. They're going to be pretty shut down. So, again, I didn't do this for the high fives or recognition or anything like that, but there have been at least 6 or 7 I've noticed like a physical difference. It's a financial burden, but that weighs on your soul and that weighs on how you carry yourself. And when you can take control and eliminate that stuff, yeah, I mean, it absolutely physically affects how you carry yourself, and how you wake up in the morning and even how you work.
Right.
It's not a means to an end. Like, I'm working because I got to fill my day and got to make some money.
Right.
But then when you know where it's going, like, yeah, now I can do this for my retirement. And hey, I can swing a beach trip. Who knew?
No.
Yeah. So I've absolutely seen it in several of our people. And I've been pulled aside a couple of times personally to like, they've told me how much they've already paid off and stuff like that. And that's great. It's again, like, I don't try to initiate with like, I don't probe, like, hey, what's your financial situation? Hey, how much you paid off? Hey, how much are you in debt?
Yeah.
That's something you don't ask.
Yeah.
But I don't need to know anything except for what you've told me.
Yeah.
And that is reward enough. Just seeing the simple number. And yeah, I can pick up here and there on people, and whoever wants to pull me aside and actually tell me, that's awesome. And that's great. And I'm glad that you took control. I'm glad I could introduce 2 hands to shake.
Right.
Yeah.
That's been great. It's been, and once
the rest is just, that was the most rewarding thing I've seen, was just the report.
I love it. Well, glad we delivered. That's what
100%.
So to kind of wrap things up, a couple more. If you were talking to another CEO, maybe you had a friend who owned a business who was considering, maybe like, hey, I heard about this. What would you say to them about considering something of adding financial coaching or consulting to their business for their employees?
Yeah, obviously, cost-wise depends on, the size of the operation and everything like that. It really, the only consideration that you need to ask yourself is like, number one, are you in a position where you could take on the extra benefit and the expense? And then number 2 is, do you care? Because everybody offers, like, every real business offers benefits, whether it's life insurance, dental, whatever it might be. Everybody does that. But if you want to invest in your people, like, we've had people come and go since we've started this. that it was just an investment into the person that we have. These are all just investing into your people, and it absolutely benefits you none except for setting them up for success. It's something extra that you can give somebody besides just what everybody else gives, and it becomes competitive to a certain degree, and it also becomes personal, where you believe in this person personally, and number one, I want to pay you what you're worth, but then number two, I want you to be smart with this and be a good steward with this and be able to take vacations when you need to, be able to retire when you want to, have full control over, where your kids, like their futures, set them up for success. If you've been, in my specific industry, most people don't come from much. It's trade work, and there for a long time, I think the market is flipping now, but there for a very long time, not a lot of people were getting into trade. And I think that market is flipping now, but a lot of the guys that I grew up with that still work here, like I've got a guy who's been here for 38 years, 36 years. And most of the other people I have are like over 10, over 5. But they don't come knowing, this isn't taught in schools. It's not, very few people teach this. And if you're able, as a business owner, as a manager of somebody, to be able to approve this and impact your people on a personal level and give them that financial freedom, then it's only going to affect your business with like more buy-in for your culture, and then like uncomfortable conversations about money can reduce. They're never going to go away. Money's money.
Yeah, absolutely.
They will be able to see where their money's going. And I think that's incredibly important for anybody in any trade, in any market,
Where do I sign up? I need to sign up. Knowing everything that you know now, and I know you've kind of mentioned this, would you make the investment again?
Yeah, same time next year, hopefully. I want to get all of them. I want to go 36 for 36.
I love that.
I want everybody. And we're only going to get bigger and we're only going to grow. But yeah, 100%.
Hey, in Jesus' name.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Has this, making this investment, caring about your employees in this way, do you think it's changed how you think about even taking care of them in other ways, like other ways that you can help them? Obviously, you're working with finances. Is there any other things that you're I'm actually just curious, like what are some other things you're doing to care for your employees, or like okay, we're doing this area. What's our next thing that we're wanting to do?
Yeah.
If you can share.
Yeah, it's a good question. I've been dedicating a ton of thought to it because my whole coming up with like our new core values. We're not changing. We're changing ownership, but we're not. It's not a corporation absorbing another. It's the same family values, right? But it's different in a way. Like I want to be able to give a very special service to my customers and then to my employees as well. And yeah, I'm always on the hunt for stuff like that. I haven't come up finalized my next move though, and my next thing. It's very tough. Where like you can have all these grand ideas, and then the more time and effort that goes into it, you can see that it's either can't be done at this moment, or it's just been simply shut down by people's lack of interest. But this absolutely starts like a chain reaction in my brain of what more can we do as a company? What can we put back into this company, and for its people? What I tell everybody all the time, and I think they're finally starting to believe it, is there's not a single person here that can make any money without their fellow coworker. We've got an admin staff up front that deals with all the customers and insurance companies, and if they had to fix a car, I would be out of business. We'd be sued so fast, like it would look terrible. But and then the back, if I put some of those guys with an insurance adjuster, like to talk about money, or to a customer, I'd be out of business. You know, like
Everybody plays a role.
everybody plays a role, and I believe in hospitality, and I think if I didn't work here, I'd be in something with hospitality because I care about providing a service to others, and that's what collision repair is. It is a service, and I think it's absolutely destined to fail if you want the front, like just the forward facing, like the outward facing employees to put on like this wonderful show of hospitality and caring, and they're doing well.
Right.
If the back doesn't reciprocate, but then even then, it all needs to face inwardly as well. Like you have to show hospitality to anybody else. You got to go above and beyond to try to make it easy for them, and vice versa. And then if you do that, it's like stirring a nice pot, you know. And then you got stew going, you know. So I haven't come up with anything yet for that's like definitive that I want to share, but
it's in progress.
It's in progress, and we're stirring the stew.
Hey, stirring the stew. It's gonna be good at the end.
Yeah.
Last thing to wrap up, is there any final thoughts you want to share with any other business leader that you know?
If you are a business leader or a business owner that is interested in doing Earners Academy, I would highly recommend it. Because I was going into it very skeptical. Number one, about the cost. Number two, about the buy-in. And I work with the most everyday people in the world, just like we all do. And finances were always a lockdown topic. What I would encourage you to do is turn over that stone, because you never know until you ask the question. Number one, the cost. Number two, the buy-in. And if my 36 people that work on cars can knock off $60,000 worth of debt in 60 days. Yeah, I'm doing it again, you know? And if you've got a larger business or a smaller business, then that number is just going to be either comparable or larger, and you're getting that off of your people. And number one, it could show them like, hey, I am making good money, you know, and I am making above or at the median or, you know, well above, whatever the case may be. I am doing that. I just suck with money. You know, I should probably misdirect. Like, if you want to get into it very selfishly, then that's also a pro, you know, as a business leader. But if you're going into it like very personally, because you care about all your people, you're knocking that weight off them.
Right.
That financial freedom, you can't put a price on. And if you are in the financial position that you could set this up, then set it up. Because then you're knocking that weight off your people. And if you want to improve culture, there it is. That's where you get that stew stirring, you know?
We're gonna have to get this stew going. No, that's great. I will honestly, we can wrap it up. But one, I want to say thank you so much for the opportunity, your time, your investment. We're looking forward to continuing to work together, continue to get this debt completely gone, and get the stew keep going. We'll keep moving. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you.
Thank you for everything.
Thank y'all for tuning in, and make sure y'all like this video and subscribe to the channel and share with other business owners that you know may be interested in this. See y'all. Peace.